never picked the same champion twice so far this tournament. They've actually, every single one of them has played something different every time, which kind of just shows to me, actually, their depth in champion pools and their depths and strategies.
So Jarvan 4 was the final ban here from the Green All-Stars. Sona, of course, was banned out by the LPL All-Stars, and there is the Rumble. First pick in for PDD. We saw him winning out on 2-2v1 situations in their game against North America yesterday. 3 kills he picked up from those 2-2v1s.
Yeah.
He's a beast with Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, him going to first pick Rumble is not surprising in the slightest. It's a really, really big pick for him. It's one of his most played champions, actually, throughout the LPL season. And of course, yeah, he broke the streak of not playing the same champion twice, but it's Rumble. Yeah, you're going to pick that guy up to get the chance.
It's fine to play him twice, I think, especially when you're PDD, and we've seen how strong he can be on it. That, of course, leaves the Kazakhs open at this stage of things, and it looks like the Garena All-Stars will decide to go that route for this one. But what will they add in here with him?
Well, at this point, they've really got to make their decision on strategy. They've got to figure out what they actually want to run here, or if they're going to start out safe and say, well, we'll run the Varus, we'll run things like that, and adapt from there. So Kazakhs, I'm interested by the pick of where it's going to go, because Stanley or Toys could play it, even Harley could play it, though he's not a huge carry jungler. But, you know, like Varus went well for Chawi. They're picking comfort pick there. Kazakhs, I want to see where it goes. But, again, we're seeing a different lineup here now for LPL. Messiah can hardcore engage. Rumble can follow up afterwards. It's actually a little bit reminiscent of GPL's lineup last game.
And Messiah's Diana is another one which doesn't sneak through too often.
No, no.
He is a monster with this Diana. So, I don't know, 2 very strong picks already for them. But they do have that Varus. They do have the Kazakhs as well. They're not, or what you'd call second rate at this stage of the game.
Diana is, I think, the #1 mid laner in China right now. If it's not Rumble going to the mid lane and someone else topping, it is that mid lane Diana. So it's just a hugely important pick for these guys, and it's that hardcore engage. Of course, they got that favorite Thresh back as well. So Messiah's got 4 unique champions for himself, but the rest of the LPL squad is saying, dude, great, you're giving us the stuff that we got game 1 against NA where we slaughtered them.
So let's have a look then at the next ones. We're going to be seeing Nasus coming in and a Zyra. Now, this could be interesting.
Yes. So Toys as well as Messiah both have played mid lane Nasus. And the thing is, this still fits to the lineup. Could be easily support Zyra, mid lane Nasus, jungler still to show, and the top lane Kazakhs. And that actually works. They play an AD heavy team. They've got Spirit Fire to break things down, a big frontline tank in Nasus to soak a bunch of damage, and they can all kind of get knocked up at Stranglethorns. It's a pretty good setup so far.
Well, could be a Zyra in the mid lane as well to stop that Diana, giving chase, knock her up, root her down, with then the Kazakhs in the top lane, Nasus in the jungle. Still, a lot of possibilities here on the side for the Green All-Stars. Looking like the LPL All-Stars, on the other hand, are, I was going to say, going to go with that Hecarim here, but right now they're sat with Elise and Graves.
I mean, Graves makes a lot of sense. He follows up very, very well with his frontline burst. That's kind of what happened. It's sort of the other side of the LPL squad last time, right? So the first time around in game 1, it was, we'll soften everything up, and then it's time for cleanup crew. This time, it's find the dude, make him die. We'll go from there in a 5v4. Graves is the burstiest AD carry. Diana's hyper bursty in mid lane. Rumble equalizer. Hecarim, we saw how crazy Hecarim was before. This LPL team is like, guys, we're going to jump on you. You're not going to get away from us. We have such long range engagement. You're going to have a bad time.
So what are we going to see here then from the Garena All-Stars? Final pick of this one. They're 1-0 behind, so they have to win this game.
Yes.
Otherwise, their All-Star team tournament is over for now.
Yeah, and they didn't even win a single map here, which is maybe going to turn some heads. You know, it makes you wonder just, you know, have they suddenly fallen short of where they were last year? And I don't think they are. They looked very, very good, you know, this time around. You know, they look good in game 1. The individuals look good in the skills competition. So if it is Jace, it's, I mean, I guess we actually could see jungle Kazakhs. Like, even with Jace locked in here, and the thing is, like, people are going to laugh at me saying, of course it was jungle Nasus, freak, you idiot. But, like, Toys legitimately plays mid lane Nasus sometimes. We could still see swaps come through at the end. Well,
Jace, as you said, is the final pick in there. We'll see here how these switches come around. Right now, it's looking like Stanley or Kazakhs with Jace, with Toys in middle, and that Nasus in the mid lane. Everything is expected from the picks over with LPL, with Rumble up with PDD in the top, that Diana in middle with Messiah, Hecarim in jungle, and the AD carry support of Graves and Thresh. So, you know, 2 different team setups the last time, but I think the LPL team have you know, they've got some very strong and very comfortable picks here for this game.
Hugely comfortable picks. Graves is one of Wei Zhao's standbys. I mean, everyone here, their champion pool is very, very large, but Graves is one who plays a fair bit. He's one of the more common Chinese AD carries in general. Like you said, comfort picks definitely through and through for LPL. And again, their lineup is about finding someone with death sentence, and they will die if it lands, finding them with the Hecarim ultimate, the Onslaught of Shadows, and fearing them back into your team, finding them with Diana going for the Moonfall and sucking them in, slowing them down, and the team follows up. No matter which one of those lines up, you've got Graves for collateral damage, and you've got the Rumble for the equalizer. That first target will fall over. So single target pick, clean up from there. Now, the GPL squad is a bit different. They've got a different sort of setup here where it's very, very poke-based. Stanley is Jace in the top lane. Toys is Kha'Zix in mid. They're going to be poking out from afar and trying to soften up the other targets. To be fair, there's no healer on LPL. And then when the fight starts, Zyra's got good disengage or counter-engage. Varus has good counter-engage. Nasus has crazy good counter-engage. And you've got a lot of tools there to turn around a fight or just run away if you really want with Acceleration Gate.
Well, one thing that we know for certain coming into game number 2 is that the crowd is behind the Chinese team right now.
And in front of them, technically.
Very well in front of them as well. I suppose you're right with that one. They've been on their side this entire time here and have been extremely loud there in game number 1.
Yeah.
They are now on the blue side with a 1-0 lead on some very comfortable champions. I'd say they're in a very good run-in for a final spot here in game 2.
And they've looked great. They seem sort of fated for it. The very first game they played, man, did they look stellar. And that is a scary thing to deal with there is a fired up, revved up Chinese LPL squad. They certainly can have what it takes to close it out. So let's go through the early game ward and lane assignments, because right now LPL are saying, look, your blue buff is ours. We're going to ward it down. Might just set up a bit of a tent here and camp it out.
Yep, gone straight up in there. 2 wards already put into position, and well, you've got a Thresh in there. That hook is, if not a kill, then a guaranteed flash out of someone. If that lands, then someone's like, well, or if that goes near them, they're going to try and flash out of the way for it, that's for sure. So we'll have to see if Xiao Xiao is on point with them and what they will exactly do. And, you know, because of that Thresh and the looming threat that he is, they've pretty much just walked in there, and the Green AllStars have had to say, well, we just back off. They can't just stand there and force them out, and that's allowed them to get some good vision early on.
And it almost forces Harla to just be so hyper aware of his own jungle situation, because they know the vision advantage is here for the LPL squad. GPL has to be completely ready for any engage and ready to turn it around. Now, last time we saw LPL take 3 of the 4 buffs very early on with successful invades. I'm wondering if the same thing's going to happen here.
Oh. They are waiting here. They've gone over a ward, though. The position is known. Yeah, LPL AllStars have stood on a ward there as well. From the GPL side, well, let's see. Messiah is there around the corner as well, and looks like the Southeast Asians have decided it's not going to be worth it at this stage of things to actually push out of there. So let's have a look down through the lanes then instead at this stage of things. It's going to be Toys versus Messiah, Diana versus Kha'Zix in the middle lane. Bottom lane will be Thresh and Graves versus Jace, and Rumble in the top lane versus Zyra Varus. Talk us through those 2v1 lanes, because obviously Jace with his double stance is going to have a better time there.
Jace will have a slightly better time farming, but he is more gold reliant than Rumble. So you've got kind of the champions in their right spots, where again, Jace will farm better, but he needs the gold. That said, the pushing is going to be pretty close though. So, you know, both 1v2s aren't going to like life very much. The turrets are the thing I'm really concerned about. Graves and Varus both wave clear very, very well. Mistake will actually have a better time harassing and a better time pushing than Xiao Xiao. He's got longer range, he's got more AoE. That feels like a slight advantage there. I feel like GPL will push faster.
I see Messiah and Toys just going head-to-head. Toys got a slight advantage on him there in levels, and it is only a slight advantage. That should be pretty much okay for him there. Diana a little bit behind, wants to make sure he gets that siege minion. Definitely don't want to lose out on that chunk of gold at this stage of the game. Interested to see how that one all develops, but of course the junglers, they're going to be absolutely instrumental in this one, with the Hecarim and the Nasus coming down into these lanes.
Well, here we go. Harla is going to show up and say, look, guys, let's make it a 2v2. Hecarim from Troll is going to be doing the same thing. And this is actually, I think, a really, really good thing for the GPL squad, because getting Harla up to level 6 to allow him to maybe solo a dragon is really, really huge. I feel like it's interesting because in terms of gank pressure, Hecarim 6 is way more important because Onslaught of Shadows is amazing, and we saw how good Troll's ganks were on Toys back in game 1, even without the ultimate. And so letting him soak up farm, oh, but Stanley's in a harsh place.
Stanley's in trouble here. He's actually going to be forced to flash away. The Ignite won't have enough damage there to get the kill that came out of Xiao Xiao, but just showing that they can definitely have him away with this one. Nasa's going to soak up some free farm in that bottom lane. Meanwhile, Chowie here, along with his support Mistake, he's going to do a lot of damage to PDD, but Mistake did take turret hits in that as well, so pretty even stuff in top and bottom in terms of how it's going for either side.
It's interesting because they're really choosing to put a lot of pressure on the champions more so than the turrets, not letting them sit there and get free last hits and catch up in gold. Stanley has already gone back for his tier. He last hit enough minions in the 1v2 to get to that point to say, well, now I have infinite mana, I can start charging tier. I don't care if I get denied quite as much because I can still spam. There's a GPL pushing that turret down lower and lower, but here comes Troll at the top lane.
Troll going to come in. Mistake is going to have to land that grasping root onto him. Does manage to land it, but is it going to matter? They're onto Mistake. There it is. PDD takes down Mistake for first blood, but can they take out Chowie here as well? PDD needs to be really careful as the barrier comes in, and he will get the kill, but he dies in the end, and it turns into a double kill for PDD.
Well, great couple of kill pickups there for PDD, but I'm not sure he needed to go for Chowie there. He was safe in the brush. The counter gank there at the bottom lane, not quite as effective. Nasus, not the same ganking power as Hecarim, to be fair. But again, I'm not sure PDD needed to show up there. I feel like Troll had him on his own, and Chowie didn't need to get a kill there.
Yeah, I think so as well. Oh, Wei Xiao taking a big hit there from Stanley. Hallelujah going to come through. There is a lantern. They pull him back underneath the turret. And Jason's taken 3 hits from that one. They pull Hallelujah in there. Can they put him down? Why did he put the Spirit Fire in there? Is he going to go down to this one? Xiao Xiao goes very offensive. Can he actually get the kill? He's going to put the lash back on towards Stanley. Here comes PDD around the side as well. An acceleration gate will be able to get him out of there. And Stanley puts the damage back, and well, that was on a knife edge.
That was an absolutely brutally close battle right there. Everyone putting the summoner spells. The PDD's looking to stop the recalls.
Oh, and he's going to stop the recall for now, but can he go under the turret? Xiao Xiao is going to be coming in from this bottom side, but it looks like they will be safe. That would be a big risk for PDD to come in. His mistake does get hit there by Messiah. And a bit of a crazy start to this one that honestly could be tied up. It could even be a lead for the Green AllStars right now.
It could be very, very soon if they can take this turret down. They've got better turret pressure, right? This turret's down below a quarter health. Stanley's has not taken nearly as much damage because Harla basically set up a camp right there and said, no, you're not going to take this down for us. An early pink ward comes down from Mistake, though. They want to set up a counter gank at some point in this top lane. I don't know if it's going to work yet, though.
Right now, Toys low on mana as the pink ward does come down into that one, and we see the flash in there. Oh, Messiah goes straight in on top of him. He's going to get the kill. Lots of turret damage, and Nasus is just around the corner. He's seen Hallelujah come in. Spirit Fire goes down. Wither is there. You're not escaping from this one, Messiah, and it will be the turret that finishes him off. Hallelujah gets the kill.
All right, so no assist does go to Toys, though. So this means that basically, as far as the lane is concerned, Messiah got a 300 gold lead, as well as a champion kill lead from that encounter. Which, honestly, you know, with the lane going a little bit rough for him in the beginning, but now with Seeker's Arm Guard completed, this might start tipping it in Messiah's favor in a lane Toys was winning before.
Bottom lane is starting to push on towards Chase very heavily. PDD's Rumble having similar troubles here at top, but look at this. Level 6 Nasus ulti on. Time for an early dragon.
That's so good for Harla, you know, getting that side lane leech farm by camping in Stanley's lane, and then, I mean, getting the very fortunate sort of counter gank, I guess, on Messiah. It's just completely clean. That's so big for GPL. They really needed that.
Yeah, massive pickup for them. And there you see the love from the Chinese crowd. A big round of applause for them for that one. A move which, hinders the local team, but you just see the appreciation for exactly how well the Green AllStars are playing this one. Let's have a look down the CS from this one. Rumble, compared to Jace, is an interesting one. 23 to 46. You'd expect that, though, from, Rumble and Jace being in that 1v2 scenario.
Yeah, those lanes are exactly playing as we expected them to. The one thing that's not as expected, though, is how well Wei Xiao is doing in last hits compared to Chowie. Certainly, yeah, Chowie got ganked and killed off, but you had the similar crazy gank on Wei Xiao at the bottom lane a little while ago. but Graves is still kind of better for that whole encounter. And I mean, I'm getting kind of flashbacks to game 1, Hyperfed AD carry. His team kind of makes everything happen for him.
Yeah, very scary. And now both mid laners have got the blue buffs under control as well. As you mentioned, Seeker's Arm Guard plus the Amp Tome and Boots for Diana. On the other side, Spirit Stone and double longswords coming out for Kha'Zix. So not headed up yet towards that tier.
Now, Lizard Elder is going to be the first item for him instead, which again is poke-based. It's cooldown reduction, it's mana regeneration, and his W will apply that true damage dot. So as long as he can land some poke damage, he'll start wearing down the competition. I am curious when the tier will show up, though.
Look at this, Hallelujah and Mistake have been waiting for a long time inside of this brush to try and catch out PDD. There we see the Equalizer come down to try and stop that from happening. He's got no flash, gets knocked up by Strangled Thorns, finished off by Chowie. 3-3, solid kill. Lot used for it, but a kill's a kill.
It is going to be worth it. They're going to get the turret off of that one as well. Again, worth it is the name of the game for that one. So they finally equalize themselves in kills, equalize themselves on turrets, but Wei Zhao is still an unstoppable farming machine that has to be dealt with.
And this is exactly what we talked about in that last game, that he can do this kind of thing, and well, does do this kind of thing on a regular basis. And we'll see how they try and keep him in check with that one. Varus now getting a BF sword in with that Vamp Scepter and the Berserker Greaves and the Doran's Blade. Right now, just see Vamp Scepter, Doran's Blade, and Boots for Graves. And of course, Wei Zhao will be headed home to farm shortly. And
that again speaks to the play style of GPL, right? They actually got the advantage of globals, but it's the fact that they are actually ganking for Chowie's lanes. He has 2 kills. He's been participating in champion combat, whereas Wei Zhao has just been split pushing minions. Just like last game, Chowie has the early game gold lead because of this whole setup. That's really, really big for him. Let's see if they can contribute, though.
Oh, Toys is going to have to jump over the top there. Does manage to get there slow. Oh, but the flash out coming in. Messiah going to explode him. And that was risky play from Toys in the first place. I'm not sure why he was up there by the race.
I guess he just thought he had enough vision control that no one was going to show up for him, but definitely wrong about that one. Leap didn't save him. Great play by Wei Zhao, and actually for their efforts, LPL are rewarded with a turret. That is huge for them.
Yeah, and that's all because of that kill there. That middle outer turret going down, Toys going down. They've picked up the bottom outer turret in response, but you definitely can't put a comparison to losing that middle outer turret and everything else that offers you.
And this game is so strange right now as well because Hallelujah is actually down, split pushing the bottom lane with Stanley. He's getting more levels, which is good. Nasus really scales off of levels well. Maxing out Spirit Fire, maxing out Wither, and getting a second point in his ultimate are so important. But here comes another fight of the Toys.
Oh, Toys, he's going to be the unlucky man here. Surely as the Equalizer comes down, Messiah's on top of him. Exhaust is down. That won't matter. They decide not to be greedy and leave Mistake to back off. They've covered the bottom tower with the AD carrying support as well. Chowie's going to be the man that tries to stop this top turret being taken down. Messiah actually got really, really low with that one. PDD's probably going to have to back off for safety reasons.
This is just just crazy game right now. It's super interesting. Different things are happening really this time than last one, and it's just explosive. People are looking for fights all the time, diving constantly, and it's because both teams get to do that. Oh my gosh, PDD's solo mistake in the top lane, but Chowie's going for the counterattack.
Yeah, Chowie is going to be pushing in for this one, gets the slow, pops a blight. There's a flash in as well. PDD is going to land 1-2 harpoons, but Chowie showing that he can snipe. And, well, we've seen harder snipes from him in game number 1, that's for sure. But nonetheless, good pickup. But again, PDD racks up a kill. That's allowed him haunting guys this shopping trip home.
And even still, that kill right there really speaks to Chowie's familiarity with his champion, right? He put the ult down, did all the damage, got the blight stacks, then said, okay, I'm going to charge my Q. I'm slowed when charging it. If this doesn't kill you, I cannot chase you down anymore. But this will do enough damage to kill. Charged it up long enough. Said, okay, this will do enough damage, sniped it out. Really great sort of familiarity with his champion by Chowie.
And I tell you what, Toys, not really having the best of times of things here. They got that Kha'Zix early on since it was left open. Currently 0-3-0 is ahead in the CS, but that's not really to be compared to Diana's 3-1-0. Right now, it's actually only 100 gold difference, if that, in there. But now we do see the Dragon up in 30 seconds. Hallelujah, of course, did start it off just as he hit level 6 before. Let's see if they can lock that one down again.
They got some damage into Xiao Xiao. Toys with a bunch of pain. He's got to leap away, though.
Yeah, put the box down there, and Toys decided not to follow through. I don't think they quite had vision of what was maybe waiting for them over the other side of that tri-bush, and decided not to go in. Toys is going to try and push that bottom wave out.
Yeah.
There is a ward there down for the LPL All-Stars, so they're going to be spotting the Garena All-Stars when they start to move in. Stanley actually is trying to put some pressure on that middle turret, but we'll see what happens here to Dragon.
The Toy split push is the right idea here. He's 0-3 with no assists, which means he's not worth much gold. He's got boots of mobility, so he just can get away from lanes whenever he wants. They're going to be able to take away the Dragon, and look at that beautiful play right there, right? Lantern across the wall, you charge across, no smite, all right, back out I go.
Yeah, that's the beauty of that lantern, you know?
Yeah.
We saw it in game number 1 as well, that you can put yourself in almost impossible positions and still manage to live from them. We did see a turret going down with that one. Not sure exactly which one it was. I think
top lane PDD,
top lane,
I think.
yeah. That top lane finally dealt with. Let's have a look down the CS again, because that's kind of changed a little bit since the last time. Actually, Jason Rumble almost even now, and that was a fairly big disadvantage that PDD was in after those 2v1s.
And it's interesting to watch sort of how LPL splits up their farm, because 4 of the members on the LPL squad like to farm. Troll likes to farm, as well as the 3 sort of standard carry roles. And you see that. You see 68 on Troll, significantly higher than what Hallelujah has, who typically defers farm to his teammates. And so we'll kind of see them equalize out a little bit, but PDD has been split pushing the top lane for a very, very long time. That's how he got a little bit closer to Jace's score. Wei Zhao, of course, we know what he does. He takes the solo lane the entire time and gets the highest score in the game. The really big factor, though, is Toys, because he, like I said, a lot of deaths, not a lot of kills or anything, split pushing constantly. The actual pickup of the Elder Lizard lets him take away jungle camps quickly as well, which also contributes to his farm lead.
Also picked up the Hex Drinker and boots of mobility here as Toys, and he is going to be pushing this bottom lane out. Did take a little bit of damage earlier on. That was Jason Nasus that had started to push down that side. Well, things have hit that now kind of stale period, as they often do around, you know, between the 14 and sometimes 18-20 minute mark, where both teams feel that they've not got a big advantage and they're a little bit cautious of pushing out in the wrong places.
And this is certainly, you're seeing them try to find some places to go aggressively. Hallelujah's going to get caught out, though.
Yeah, Hallelujah caught out. Toys was off to the side. The box is down. Wei Zhao is there. Messiah gets the kill. They might not be finished just yet. They're going to go in towards Toys. He's forced to jump away from that. And just as I was saying, no team willing to be caught out in any place. Yeah. Hallelujah almost face-checking straight up towards those Rays in that push there. And they were stood on top of a ward as well, which didn't help scenario out.
It was a little too aggressive from that team. You can't make a lot of easy plays with Nasus and Kha'Zix, because you don't have enough damage yet to force something down. Wither and Void Spike slow is not enough to make sure you get kills for free. Not when you're in enemy territory right there. That seems like a bit of a mistake. But at the same time, it's, you know, you got to realize that we're getting ourselves closer to a late game scenario where you've got big giant carries. And Chaoi's not going to be able to live very long as a big giant carry. There's a Fed Diana on the other team.
They need to be careful on this middle outer turret here. 4 men for the GPL All-Stars are waiting. They've got good folk coming out of Varus and Jace. Actually, coming out of all 4 of them, and Zaru can even throw things down with the Kha'Zix as well. So we need to be a little bit wary. Wei Zhao goes in there at the side. You see the Void Spikes. There is that Q coming out of Jace as well, the Shock Blast, and Wei Zhao all of a sudden down to half health.
And Wei Zhao's actually alternating points between Quick Draw and Smoke Screen. So he's actually playing, like, I remember KX used to always max Smoke Screen second on Graves. We've seen a lot of guys max Quick Draw. He's actually going sort of this halfway between attack damage carry and burst caster. He's not just going for the Smoke Screen burst here. So he's hedging his bets a little bit and saying, look, if burst doesn't work, I've still got cleanup power.
There's another Shock Blast going through the acceleration gate. Troll just trying to get to the front side of the tower and push them back, as Equalizer actually coming over from Rumble, and Messiah is going to dive in there. Oh, and look at the ultis that they've thrown at Messiah after he'd popped that Sonya's hourglass there. PDD off to the side. Toys is going to be pulled back here. Surely finished off on the left there as they do go in. Troll is very low. He will die. Hallelujah will finally put his ultimate on from this one, and the Garena All-Stars walk away in the end. A massive fight, but only a 1-for-1.
There's still a couple of guys left around the sides, though. They could re-engage. Xiaoshi's there. The flash route does not quite land. They might keep chasing, though. Nope.
They've half chasing, half gone back. There's the Lantern going through. Messiah is definitely not healthy at the side. And there is Wei Zhao coming in. PDD not quite landing there. And Wei Xiao did come back. He's still got full HP here, which could be a deciding factor until the shock blast hits him. And I think safer here for the Chinese side to back off.
And it's interesting to compare Toys. Oh my gosh, another fight. Chowie, you bit off a little bit more than you can chew right there. It's interesting to compare Toys, though, to the Kazakhs played by PDD, because PDD would always come in at exactly the right time and clean everything up after his team engaged. The thing is, GPL squad has some good early poke. They can bring things low and then turn it into kills for Kazakhs afterwards. But Toys, he's waiting in the wings, but getting found. Wei Xiao's landing death sentences and saying, no, Kazakhs, I'm going to squash you like a bug. You don't get to clean up.
That was a ridiculously close fight, considering what happened right at the start of it. The ultimate came out of Varus and out of Zyra on towards Messiah, who Zonya'd perfectly in that area so that both of them were effectively wasted. And quite surprisingly that they was so close despite that fact. Two big crowd control ultimates.
And that's just because Diana dove in there. Messiah tried to start the fight afterwards. And, you know, they were positioned well. Chowie went for the Infinity Edge build, so he's got huge damage output on just an auto-attack basis. And if you don't bring that guy down, if your fed Diana isn't assassinating an AD carry, then the AD carry is going to clean up your whole team.
Right now, the Dragon about to come into play at 10 seconds. Let's see how that's going now. Ping's in there. Wards all put in position. Wei Xiao just going to be getting the red buff as Troll walks straight into Ward's toys there on top of a ward and then turns back around. The charging horse, always a scary sight. More wards put down from the LPL All-Stars. Mistake has an Oracle on right now. This could actually turn into a really big deal in this game.
Yes, vision control means a heck of a lot here because of how easily these teams can one-shot somebody. You saw the ult chain a little while ago, I should say about 10 minutes ago, when you had Varus into Nasus into Zyra at the top against PDD, and they just killed them off with nothing to do. And of course, you've got a fed Messiah Diana who did the same thing on the other side. Getting someone blindly is huge for these guys.
Here we go, and he's going to be taken by the Garena All-Stars. Another nice pickup for them, and they're 2,000 gold almost in the lead in this one. So despite being 8-5 behind in kills, they're tied on turrets, and they've got that Dragon control nicely down in this game.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's keeping them in such great shape, because you can see that they are actually, I don't want to say categorically because it's not for everyone, but they're kind of down in minion farm. They are down in champion kills as well, but it's like the EU versus NA game, where the NA team was a little bit better at team fighting, but the Europeans always were able to pick up dragons, and that kept them into the game and let them pull it to late. That could happen here as well.
What a hook from Xiao Xiao. Sadly for him, the rest of his team weren't quite on the same page there. Took them a while to actually get involved, and by that time, Mistake had already walked himself away from the immediate danger that was coming in. But let's have a look at that farm, because it's a 20 CS lead for Wei Xiao in the middle. Kazakhs 40 CS in the lead. Jungle is a 20 CS lead for the Hecarim. His top lane 146 to 140. Very, very even stuff. And you can see there the difference that it really separates to across the board is still fairly slim, apart from when you look towards those AD carries, which is almost 1,000, and the supports 3.7 to 5,000 gold here.
Yeah, there is an undeniable gold lead for the GPL squad, and a lot of it's on the right people. Even Kazakhs, Toys is more farmed than Messiah. The only one where there's really a saving grace is the fact that PDD is gigantic. He is on Rumble. He had an amazing performance in the first game of the tournament, and I think it's really on him to make team fights happen unless Messiah can one-shot Chowie. That's really where the LPL team fight looks, you know, like, yeah, like they're up in kills, but they're not the team that's winning. They need things to go their way. They need to get the picks or get amazing equalizers to win this game.
Now, once Chowie would be out there, that would be a severe knock for the Garena All-Stars. We'll see what they can actually do with that one. Right now, they are just pushing constantly this middle wave out. The Xiao Xiao's pink ward is going to help them clear out Baron. The Troll is carrying an Oracle Elixir right now, as is Mistake. They've both already taken that and will be clearing things out as they go around. Ironically, there's that one there in the death bush, which no one has decided to walk over up till now. Mistake actually going to get hooked here. Is he going to go down? He flashes away, but it's not going to be enough. Troll comes over the wall. PDD's right in there. Chowie's been focused. Chowie is dead. PDD is going to get jumped on, but there is the Zhonya's going to be used. Can they follow in for any more here? Wei Xiao leading on the front line does get slowed. Troll takes a shock blast and they back off. That was a 2-for-1.
And Mistake had the opportunity to use his ultimate. He flashed out of the engage, but never cast it. Oh my gosh, Stanley takes a bunch of pain. The flash from Wei Zhao, not enough. Nice try right there. Again, Mistake could have ulted in that fight, and that might have been enough damage to turn it.
They've done a lot there. Wei Zhao and crew have a minion wave pushing up. This looks like it will be the first inner turret of the game, and that will be the case as Wei Zhao finishes it off. And that brings the gold back to under 1,000 at this point. That was a nice little fight, and I was just talking about how that Oracle used to clear things out, and the funny thing being that he'd missed that one on in the small death bush, as we call it here in Europe, that ended up actually costing them. That was giving them vision the whole time for that hook to come around.
And that's the funny thing about ward clearing, is that you clear wards by being near the wards themselves. You're actually visible while trying to deny vision, and that was where they actually got their hook from. That's where they found the engage onto Mistake, I should say, and actually started that fight. And that's the thing, is when you sweep wards out, you actually want to get wards deeper into territory to make sure your support isn't overextended, getting caught out trying to Oracle sweep. When you compare to what LPL did last game, at some point Troll was one of the Oracles, because you're not going to catch out a Hecarim.
No, that's for sure. He's going to be away before you can really blink from that one. We have seen some more items being picked up. I think the one that we didn't touch on was that Zhonya's, which was instrumental for PDD there in that fight, and the way that he popped it right at the last second. That
was absolutely huge. I mean, these Zhonya's pickups, they're easy to buy for these guys because the GPL lineup is 90% physical. All you've really got is like the passive and the W damage from Kha'Zix and from Varus, and then the ult and Spirit Fire from Nasus. It's decent damage, but not enough that you like must go Runic Bulwark to combat. And you're seeing that there, right? The jungler here, Troll, he's gone for the Locket of the Iron Solari, right? He's getting armor for himself and an AoE shield. MR, not as much needed, don't worry about it so much. And of course, the rest of them can just buy Zhonya's. It's so convenient, and it works against this lineup.
Right now, the spot that Toys is actually down on that bottom lane. The Oracle will reveal that there are no wards on Baron itself. And this is something that the Green AllStars need to be a little bit cautious of. The plants are thrown down by mistake. A cheap way, luckily for Zyra, for scouting out if anything is actually going on down in that Baron pit.
That's one of the cool things about these two supports, is both she and Thresh have ways of checking the Fog of War with their W abilities, for what it's worth, and that helps them really. I mean, W still has those nightmares of the ward battles. Another engage though.
Mistake getting caught out, the box is down. Here comes the Strangled Thorns, but PDD had done an early Zhonya's to prevent all the damage. Messiah done the same, and here comes a big push around. Can they follow through? Already one man dead. That's just Mistake at this point, and the LPL AllStars may go back around. Another hook lands, this time onto Hallelujah. Toys is going to have to jump away. His teammate not going to have the same available to him, and that is 2 kills from 2 hooks. Amazing play out of Xiao Xiao.
Absolutely beautiful by him. Toys will not be able to clean up this Lizard buff either. PDD is going to want to control that one, and that's what that team does. They find a guy and they make him fall over. Great just engagements there. Messiah finds another one. Stanley's just gone, and he flashes away from Chawi, but still now a 3 for nothing for this LPL team.
Such good play there from Messiah to get that one down, and that's the kills raining their way. There's a dragon available, and Chawi says, well, let's try and make the most of a bad situation here and get another dragon, which, funny enough, will keep them in the gold lead.
Yeah, they are right now tied. I'm surprised LPL couldn't find a Baron out of this. It was really because their kills were so far apart. Mistake died early, then he came back. As he was reviving, they got the kill. The first one onto Harla, and then as they went to go stop Baron, they got the kill onto Stanley, but again, they were so staggered that they never had the numbers advantage enough to take Baron down, so they don't get to cement anything out of that. You just got the, 1,300-ish gold from 3 kills, which, it's not that massive.
Not huge whatsoever. And we're 28 minutes into this game, which a decent amount of time. Messiah is actually going to dive in here. There's the equalizer. Mistake's going to have to go around the side as the hook lands onto Hallelujah. He is a dead man. Then comes Jace from the side, but Mistake going to be knocked away by Troll. And now they turn around on towards Toys. Can they lock him down from this one? As they see the snipe from Varus, the shock blast from Stanley trying to ward them off. But again, it's 2 kills picked up. And again, Xiao Xiao, so good with these hooks.
Absolutely beautiful play by him individually and by the LPL squad in general. They're snowballing a mid-game lead by saying, we want to fight, we swept your wards, you won't see us coming, we're going to keep finding you and making these happen. GPL are trying to stop the Baron attempt. Troll taking so much damage. Toys finds it.
Wow.
Beautiful play. Now they can't Baron.
Yep, and right now LPL going to go in on towards Toys. There is the Zhonya's used, but can they follow up? The hook lands again to allow Weizhao the kill. There's the acceleration gate down, but Messiah is still going to chase around. In the end, decides to leave both Stanley and Chowie to run away from that one. That's a crazy, crazy few minutes here in that middle area.
Toys forgot that PDD had Zhonya's. He wasted Leap thinking he could put the damage down and kill off Rumble. That did not happen. He got caught out. Again, great plays by Xiao and the rest of the crew, but, well, another one.
Incredible stuff. I mean, that one was slightly easy. It was running straight towards it, but nonetheless, keeping a good record up, that's for sure. No one there to follow up from the backside of him, no. But they must be sitting on a decent chunk of gold here. I mean, look at the kills on them. Yeah, 1,300, 1,700 for Messiah, 1,400 for PDD there in the top. And look at Weizhao, over 10,000 gold, as is Chowie right now, who still actually has a minute gold lead over him.
It does, and you can just tell that that's what global objectives really do for you. When you've taken every single dragon, you know, despite a kill lead or despite a minion lead, you get to be bigger than your opposition, and that's just so huge for a lot of these GPL guys. So, you know, it still comes down to, because they're just looking for that one fight that works for them. Despite losing every fight, they're keeping themselves in the game, right? They're finding ways to stay equal, pick up dragons, pick up whatever it is. They're keeping themselves close here. They just need that one fight to go their way, pick up shutdown gold on PDD, shutdown gold on Weizhao, shutdown gold on Messiah, and suddenly, whoa, we just got 5 grand, we can win the game off that.
Yeah, could be a big item spike from that kind of scenario. Right now, the LPL All-Stars actually pushing through as Baron. It's going to be kicked off there by the plants, and Xiao probably cursing mistake there, which did that with his Zyra. Again, they battle for position around this ward. I'd love to know exactly how many wards have been cleared out from that Baron pit and from the sides there, because they have spent a good 10, maybe 15 minutes up until now doing that.
Exactly. You know, these guys are looking for ways. I think the LPL squad really looking for ways to close out the game, because, like, the fact that they're winning every single fight means that they're winning. The gold kind of lies to you and says, well, clearly they're equal in power, sort of, but the fights don't really lie. They tell you who's the more powerful team, who's better organized or better executing, and it's on LPL to turn those team fight wins into something real, because if they throw one out, again, it's shutdown gold. That's a rough thing. So, yeah, they're farming for now because they haven't found a real opening. They're playing the ward game. We see a lot of teams do that, but they haven't found their way into the base, or they haven't found their way into Baron.
One thing they have found is a lot of hooks, and that certainly with those wards down there becomes a lot easier. Mistake here, just on the edge. Needs to be careful. He's been hooked there once before. As they start to move around that Baron, EDD gets hit by the Void Spikes coming over. Very tense game. The LPL All-Stars know that they could wrap up position in the grand final if they manage to win this game. I would, of course, see them going 2-0 over the Greener All-Stars, who then naturally have a big uphill climb. They're 1-0 behind on the red side in China against China.
Yeah.
It's already stacking against them from this one, but they are going to go in onto Xiao. He gets the box down. Surely will die from that one. It's Hallelujah that picks that one up, and LPL want to get out of here. They don't want to fight this one, and why did they back away? Will they go in towards it afterwards?
Good
yes, they will, and they're all going to drop down. The equalizer is in such a good position. They're going to rip them to bits. That's an ace coming out for the LPL All-Stars, and look how quickly it can happen.
PDD is so good at judging fights. You hear the crowd cheering for that one. Messiah came in, stuck them all into a little ball, said, yep, you're all going to take that full damage. PDD said, guys, we know we've got it here. They're all lined up for it. And man, did they just capitalize on positioning. Lost one for free, doesn't matter. You're all in a little corridor, burned to death.
Yeah, and that the box actually coming in helped them out. But enough of my words. Let's have a look at it again, because that literally was an amazing fight that could have just won the game for the LPL All-Stars.
All right, so watch this, right? They get the pick on a Xiao Xiao, a lot of burst damage, great engage right here. But look, they all pile in. They think they can chase down Troll. They think they can maybe chase down Wei Zhao. And there they are in a little group, and it just gets every single person. There's the Moonfall. They're stuck. They're completely trapped in there, and they all just fall over. GPL, they got too greedy. They thought they could pick up more out of it, and it got turned around.
I don't think that could have been in a more perfect position or had a more perfect outcome there. Well, it could have. Xiao Xiao could have survived, but
sure.
He got in there with the blocks to start things off. But the equalizer, so perfectly played, and the Moonfall, it becomes a lot easier when they're all bunched up like that right on top of you. Great stuff from the LPL All-Stars. Let's see what they actually do with this Baron buff now. And something tells me that they're going to be trying to push it for a victory.
They've got most of their ultimates back as well. Only Xiao Xiao is missing it, and he's only 18 seconds away from having the box back. Not that they really even need it, to be fair. This is probably their turret. They've got so much sustain from the Baron buff. If Xiao Xiao is something from across the wall, they probably could engage it with Rumble and Diana, even on a turret dive, and it would work for him.
Well, Stanley is probably going to be one of their big hopes here of holding them off. Mistake will have to land those grasping roots and the Strangled Thorns, which are back up. In fact, most of the ultis are in fact now back up and available for, in fact they all are up and available for the play, but that is the turret gone down nonetheless. The GPL All-Stars decide, no, let's not fight there. We're probably not going to win that one.
No, not really at all. So they're going to have to give up every outer turret right now. The top lane as well has a giant minion wave that's pushing for them for free. It takes basically just to look the wrong way, and LPL will knock that turret down as well and turn it into loose rubble. Maybe rebuild something for themselves, maybe statues or trophies from the rubble, because they're doing very well this game.
That turret is going to be going down here. Stanley getting the blue buff, all well and good over the other side of the map, but he probably needs to be there to defend. We talked about how strong his shot blast is going to be in holding them off, but if he's not there, he's doing absolutely nothing here, as we are going to see them going in for it. Ulti comes out of Varus, but honestly, can't really see that being worth it at this stage. Toy's trying to back him off, but the thing is, if you do that kind of damage, they're just going to get it back in the next half a minute.
What's so funny about that is how afraid GPL was of the LPL counter engage. They got a Varus ult onto Graves with a turret hitting him, and they're like, nope, can't go for it. They'll kill us if we do. That shows you how afraid GPL is right now. They need to wait out the Baron buff. They need to find some way to team fight, yet not get equalizered. I don't know if that can happen for him.
Hallelujah, trying his best there to wither down PDD. Wei Zhao, as we said earlier, did take a big hit when they were trying to siege up that inhibitor turret. Now he's back up to full. That's what the Bloodthirster is going to do for you, along with that Baron buff doing the work as well. But instantly taken down again to just 2/3 of his remaining health. So the Arena All-Stars doing a decent job of holding on, but just a matter of time, at least for one or two of these turrets while that Baron buff is up.
Well, this is going to be an interesting situation here. So these guys are going to go for this one. Baron buff, the timer check, just about done. So this is kind of the opening of the GPL squad. If they want to make a move themselves and find a catch, this is kind of the point. The problem is, these last few minutes have built a 6,000 gold lead for the LPL squad. So on their side, all they need to do, for the Chinese team, all they need to do is say, just make another 5v5. We're powerful enough that we can kind of just auto-attack you to death if we have to. There's enough persistent damage from Diana, Graves, Hecarim, and Rumble that even without perfect ults, they'll probably just melt the GPL team anyway.
Funny thing is, there's like no vision down in that in the jungle there. They're trying to get as much down as they possibly can thanks to those Ruby Sightstones, and keeping the vision up will certainly help them here, the Greener All-Stars, and to be honest, over the other side, for the Chinese side to see exactly where the Southeast Asians will be pushing out if they even manage to get out of their base at this point. Certainly a risky play considering how well those last couple of fights, the Baron, the gold that you get off all of that, and then the items that follow, which if one team fight goes that badly and then they pick up Baron, you can pretty much guarantee that the next team fight is probably going to be as worse.
Exactly, so this is going to be a rough situation. GPL needs to find a sort of fight where they don't get vacuum equalizer. That's the big thing. They cannot get hit by the Diana Rumble combo on everybody. They need to be able to spread out and play the poke game. And this plays into their lineup. None of them really have to go into melee grouped up, right? Jace can stay in the background. Varus and Zyra just will. Kha'Zix can wait and clean up and wait for the equalizer or wait for the Diana engage and poke from the outside. They can keep dealing damage. Now that Baron buff is gone, there is no healer for LPL. Their health bars do not come back easily. So the poke game is the GPL move. You sit under a turret, you sit far enough apart, and the engagement's not there either.
Problem for them is that it's a minute, and we've seen now a second Guardian Angel being picked up by Messiah.
Yep.
Which means, well, 7 men, in theory, on the team.
Yeah. They can just kind of fly through it.
Let's see how that one all goes. Less than a minute to go. Hallelujah does have that Oracle in place. Troll actually going to get locked up here by the grasping roots of Zyra. Shock Blast not quite going to hit them. And it looks like the LPL All-Stars are actually starting to push up towards this top lane. They noticed that Nasus wasn't quite home. But by the time he comes around here, they will have backed off from that one. Leauge just trying to take a few minions and a bit of jungle farm as they go through.
LPL is using the time where they knew Nasus was far away. They said, look, we can power play this. 5 men in the jungle. Let's get some deep wards in because Baron is soon. We need the vision now far down so we can either pick up a couple of free catches with our long-range engagement tools, or we know you're not coming in to stop Baron in time. They've now set up this playground where they can react to GPL freely.
Thing is, they had no vision there either as well, so Mistake is trying to keep that up, trying to get a spot of what's there, but we've seen how crucial Xiao's hooks have been, and they're the kind of scenarios where you can be fairly easily be pulled into them as well.
Exactly. He's been so on point with those Qs. Those death sentences have really been proving their name here. See, the poke keeps coming out from GPL. They're trying. They're playing far back. They know the hooks can come, and so they poke and then leave, then poke and leave. They just haven't quite found the damage here. LPL still have control over Baron.
Yep, and right now we do see that Thresh was it Diana? One of them was waiting up on the top side. Yeah, it was Messiah here on Diana, just waiting up there as that red buff is going to spawn. Zhao I'll say thank you very much. Sorry, Weishao, I'll say thank you very much. That one is going to be mine. Toys here occupied by that top lane farm, and that is going to be the Baron started off. So a difficult decision now for the Garena All-Stars. Do they just leave it, which I think is going to be the case, or do they risk going through the jungle? It's going to be Baron number 2 for the LPL China All-Stars.
Absolutely great moves right there. They had the vision control. They knew that, I mean, and think about what would happen, right? If GPL tried to fight that, they have to go in together through the jungle, which is eerily reminiscent of what happened in the last major team fight where they were together near the jungle and got destroyed. So you play the jungle game, LPL wins it, and GPL knew that.
Saya just going in there for that one. He's got Sonya's, he's got a Guardian Angel. He's pretty defensive in terms of that, but his damage is massive at this stage as well, especially with that Baron buff taken away. Here comes another wave. Let's see what the LPL All-Stars can do with it. Shock Blast not really hitting his target, and Messiah's going to go in. Stanley's going to die without anything to come down. The equalizer will pick up Mistake. Hallelujah, next target, but the turret's gone down. And the LPL All-Stars here will be quite content with taking turrets and inhibitors. Xiaoyi going to get locked up, and they take down 2 of them in a split second, just like that. PDD is actually going to use his Sonya just underneath those Nexus turrets, and we are going to see the Chinese team going in for them. Messiah's Guardian Angel is going to get popped. Toys is going to die. They're tanking them up as they go, but this will be a win for China here. They are going to be going through into the grand final here of the All-Star Team Tournament on home soil, and you can hear the crowd absolutely loving it.
Just beautiful stuff by them. A very, very well-deserved victory. Honestly, the fight, every single time, every team fight, I feel like it went their way. The crowd loves them. You can see PDD so cheerful, the rest of his team cheerful. Wow. If you guys didn't hear that, that was the crowd cheering.
I'm pretty sure they heard that one. It's such a great crowd, and well, we talked about it earlier on in the show that it can be a help, it can be a hindrance, it can be a massive help. Sometimes it can be a massive hindrance if you've not played in front of a crowd like this before, but they certainly are used to it. And you could see PDD, he's one of those players who loves that kind of attention. He loves his fans, and he loves to have that support behind him. They've shown that here going up against Technic Arena All-Stars 2-0 victory, another 2-0 here, but a fantastic one again, despite the 2-0 scoreline.
Yeah, exactly. We've had such incredibly close games. You wouldn't believe it from the scorelines in any of these matches. Any of these matches, you'd be like, oh, wow, the whole tournament's full of 2-0s. Oh. Just gonna let the crowd talk for me, honestly. The whole tournament full of 2-0s. People would have thought, man,